Lions, tigers, and failing banks from a non-professional point of view. I would say that the sky is falling down when it comes to real estate. But you know what? I'm not the professional. I'm just someone that loves real estate, which is why I've brought in the big guns for this month's State of the Real Estate Market Address. It is March 2023, and this month I have Beau Miles, my co-host. He's the owner and broker of Essential Real Estate, to tell us we've got failing banks. What is going on in real estate, specifically in Madison, Alabama? Good morning, Beau. Tell us about all things real estate right now relevant to Madison.
Let's do it. Well, good morning. Always good to be back. We're going to do what we always do. We're going to dive into stats, and then we're going to go talk about those tigers and bears and failing banks. So let's jump in. I got to get the glasses on. Let's do it.
Let's get them on. Read the numbers.
All right, so let's get ready for, in my opinion, a little shock. I was expecting something a little different, but let's go through it. Last month, we had 245 homes. In the 30 days before last month, we had 245 homes that were listed contingent, pending, or sold. Okay, this month we've already had 318. And by the way, that failing bank happened several weeks ago, and we're several weeks past it. We're going to come back to that, but just remember, we sold more, about 75 more. Yeah, somewhere in there. We had 345 active, like on the market, ready to be sold last month. Today, we have 321. Come back to that, too. Days on the market. Surely it went up. Everybody freaked out. It went down 2 days. We went from 43 days to 41 days. We did have a decrease in price. We went from 417 to 411. A whole $6,000 difference. We'll come back to that again as to what could that actually mean. Again, I always like to throw it back to 2019 because 2019 is our last steady market. Now, once we get through this year, we'll be able to come back to this year. But so we're going back to the February-March period of 2019. We had 154 homes sold that month, or contingent or pending. We had 168 that were active on this date. 3 years ago, whatever it is, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
54 was the average days on the market, and the average price was $249,000 in good old Madison, Alabama. So there's a lot of actual information in those facts. And then there's a whole lot of stuff that I'm going to try my best to conduce it. We're trying to respect everybody's time. So here we go. Let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, Silicon Valley Bank, and a couple others. But really, Silicon Valley Bank is the one that started the run. How do you know them? Well, people, if I remember right, Airbnb does some business with them. Zillow does business with them. Etsy does business with them. A lot of these people. So how did they fail if they have all this money coming in? Because they loaned out enough money and interest rates got high enough, and what they were investing in, they did not have enough money to cover those loans. So that's bad news. You want your bank to always be able to cover the money that you have out or have in the bank with them. And so because of that, they over-leveraged themselves. They made that choice. Now, what happened? The government came in. There's been some bailouts, some kind of different things. Then we had another couple banks that started having some troubles. We had a bank buy a bank. Then we bought some. The Fed did some other things. I mean, it's been all over the place, right? And everybody goes, well, what does it mean? That means we're going to,
like me,
all gone.
Right?
What it means is a bank made a choice, and they're a big profile bank. And whether you like it or not, as of the way it was handled or not, as of today, what we're seeing is, as a whole, the damage is being stopped or at minimum lessened. Now, does this mean we're done? No, just like I told you right before we jumped on. Hey, we still got a lot to watch. We're not out of these woods, but as of today, we're selling more houses. The prices are basically the same. When we see that even kind of a jump up from 417 to 4, if we had gone up, I'd have been like, man, it's kind of the same thing. It could just be we sold a lot of lesser houses. We're also seeing less inventory, 20 or so less inventory. This is the time of year I would expect to start seeing more inventory. Now, next month, I expect it to really kick in. I expect to see more next month.
Sure.
But what does this mean? What it means is confidence in the market is still high around here.
Okay.
Then when the federal around here, but it also,
we are talking Madison,
It also means when the Fed still raised rates weeks after banks failed. That means they still view the market as healthy. If they were worried about the market, they would cut rates. They would pull it down. So what they said is the Fed is telling us by their actions, we've stopped the bleeding. We've got to start fighting inflation with this practice. Whether we like that or not, that's what they're trying to communicate to the American people. And so
Yeah.
that's where we are. So what does this mean to the consumer? Well, surely it means you're getting a higher interest rate, right?
Surely.
No, it doesn't. Because the Fed raised it, but banks have gotten a little more nervous. Banks have chosen to make less profit and give you a bet still around the same rate. They didn't really kick up. In fact, the day after they went up last week, I got a quote that we could still get a 30-year 5.675 interest rate, under 6 on a normal conforming 30-year. We're not talking some
Wow.
crazy buy down rate. We're talking, hey, this is just the standard out of the gate rate.
I would think we would be at 7.5.
Yeah.
I mean, the way the people, if you are not involved directly in real estate, I think I speak for hundreds of people, thousands of people watching this when you would say, oh, terrible time to sell, terrible time to buy. You are going to pay through the wazoo on your interest rate. And you're saying that it's just not as doomsday as it sounds.
It could be. As of today, no. I'll put it this way. Right before the bank failed, I put a house on the market. I think the last time we recorded that afternoon, I went and put a house on the market in Madison.
Okay.
In Madison City, everything. Now, it was a fixer-upper. We still had, I think by the end of it, I had 4, maybe 5 offers. We got what we wanted in a matter of 3 days. So one of those contingent and listing is mine. One of those 318 is one of mine.
Wow.
And guess what? We pushed up the closing date. It's going to go sold this week. And so like people are going, oh, I'm really nervous about it. But my answer to you is, hey, I get it. There's a lot of hysteria around you. And there's certainly things we need to watch. Don't get me wrong. We need to watch. But right now, it's business as usual.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Hey, tell us, let's speak to our buyers, people who are actively looking to buy right now, or people who are considering buying. They're unhappy in their home. They assume they're stuck because it's a terrible time. Speak to our buyers and potential buyers. What is a tip you have for them?
You're about to see a lot more hit the market. Okay. Just because of the spring, it always happens this way. Not a lot. We're going to see more on average as it goes. However, when you get more, a lot of times with everybody moving also at this time, you also get more buyers into the pot. And so while it's not Madison, I mean, one of my agents just sold a house in Birmingham, $20K overpriced. Now it's Birmingham, but still, we're still getting some of these. So my answer to you as the buyer, my tip to you is get your pre-approval letter, get it updated as soon as you can for what you can buy, because these interest rates, if they go down or up, affect your purchasing power, because it depends how much more you can. You got to make sure you're paying toward the principal. It's not an interest-only loan. And so because of that, keep that updated. Talk to your loan officer a whole lot to keep that updated, because that is going to give you the power that when you see the house you want, you can get in and get there before those people who are offering 20K higher can.
Yes, that is so good. What about for our sellers? People who say, I'm going to have to give my house away because nobody's going to buy. Seriously, I think it's so interesting when you talked about how the average price of a home, it's still pretty much the same as it was last month. People are not having to give away their home. So speak to our sellers.
My seller advice to you right now is breathe. There are still buyers in the pot. In my opinion, it is still technically a seller's market. We're hearing a lot of other rumors, but around here, it is still a very, very, very strong market. So take a breath and know that there are still buyers. There are still people looking. There are still people moving into the area. There are still interest rates to be had that are good. Therefore, people are going. You're still in the best city in North Alabama. I'll just say it. We are in the best city of North Alabama.
Absolutely.
And because of that, I would say, hey, you're looking to sell. Other people want to be here still. Take a breath and know that, hey, we'll be fine. Now, look, I'll also just speak to the cynic out there. If in the next month we see more and more crash, now we're going to have a different conversation. But right now, I would say, giddy up. Let's go. We're pushing hard. Yeah, we're pushing hard.
Let's go.
The way my wife said it was, this is our busy time of year. Do it. Because we were supposed to go out of town. She was like, do this appointment, get it done so that we can go ahead and enjoy those October and Novembers where it could get a little dicey. We don't know. I don't think it will, but it could.
Sure. Well, and hey, and this is why we do these month after month. We started in January of 2022 where real estate is this ever changing thing, and it's important to be informed so that you can make the best decisions for your family, and have information from a professional that's relevant to Madison, not Meridianville, not Hampton Cove, not Decatur. This is what's happening here.
Correct.
So get with an agent who is not going to also be freaking out. We've It works with Beau, who they take the emotion out of it, right? Real estate can make people very stressed. Get with an agent like Beau, someone on the Essential team, or someone in the area that you trust. Beau is very pro, just find a good, knowledgeable
Find somebody
agent.
good. Find a good loan officer. Find a good agent. I don't care who. Just
Yes.
find a good one. Yeah.
Find a good one. But if you don't know, check out Beau. So, all right, Beau, any final words for everybody about real estate at the moment?
I mean, right now, I'm just going to use it as my new slogan. If you don't know, call Beau. I feel like I'm. Again, the final words are, hey, guys, we're going to be fine. Take a breath. Get back out there and enjoy it. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Get out and see some houses.
That's right. So fun. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you all in April.
Thanks.
Bye, Beau.